All right, guys, fire away.
Starts with a fun one because last night Arizona and Iowa State had just a classic basketball game where a half.
Yeah.
Was there ever a half court shot that you can remember that extended or won a game in your time?
It's a good question. I don't remember a half-court shot for us that extended one. I've had some go in against me, but never lost one on one. Now, obviously, they didn't lose one; it went to overtime, right? But so no, I haven't had. I've had a couple go in, into third quarters or something like that, but never at the end of the game.
Well, now with your team here, obviously been here multiple times with Yoki, either in the middle of the season or a whole season, and you've had a lot of players that are currently on this team that have dealt with this before. But is it still a big challenge to relearn or adjust to how to play the game without Aokali?
Well, I think that there are things that we already had in our offense that we certainly have ran without her, and so that part's not the biggest adjustment. I mean, the reality of it is you lose a really good player, and they're just you have to spread the offense out a little bit more. There's more opportunities for that. There is an opportunity to play without a post, but we already had that stuff in. We've already had all of that stuff in. So I don't think it's a case of relearning anything. It's probably re-emphasizing things. And that's a little bit where we struggled the other day. We just didn't shoot it as well throughout the game, and I thought we got very stagnant standing around, and I thought we were pretty easy to guard at Colorado, quite frankly, and we'll have to certainly play better going forward.
Tamara is probably your hottest three-point shooter, and she has been for 3 weeks now. And her numbers still look good over the last 3 weeks, but I guess two questions with her. I get what happened in Colorado for her not taking a shot in the last 25 minutes, and would you like more of an inside game from Tamara for taking some twos?
Yeah, we've got to get her more looks. She's got to get herself more looks in those scenarios. I thought she got to standing around offensively, and we've talked to her about that because in our flow offense, she can go wherever she wants to. And she can move around, and she can certainly do that. And I'd like for her to be more aggressive in that area. I do think that she has gotten herself to perimeter, and I'd like to see, at least her. She's not going to be one that posts up a ton, but I do think her moving sides of the floor and doing those things will be harder for the defense to guard. And so she had a really good practice today, and we'll just try to keep emphasizing that for her to move herself around. And then when we do run plays for her, we've got to execute better. And so it's a little bit of everything.
Do you have an update on Lee's progress?
Not really. No, I mean... Thank you. Where's a cough drop when you need one, Zach? Where's a cough drop when you see? You get it right here. I've lost my voice. No, but we weren't expecting anything. She's doing the workouts. I mean, when she's got the boot on, and we've been through it before. There's some cardio things that she can do, and she's doing all that stuff. But I think realistic. Is next week that they'll take another look at it and make sure that it's healing correctly, and knock on wood, all those things are good. And if all those things are good, I think you'll start to see some progression. But we're still looking at a little bit of time away.
How did you see your team react to the first conference loss of the season?
It was a quiet plane ride. One of the quieter plane rides I've been on, and a quiet locker room. And quiet bus. We had to fly back out of Denver because of the weather there, and there wasn't a whole lot of talking. So we haven't felt a loss in almost 2 months, and it was certainly a different feeling coming home from that.
Have you seen him respond well in practice?
I thought we had a really good one today. Yeah. Yesterday, mixed. Some good, some bad. Today was really good. Loved they came in early. Normally we'd still be here, so I got them out quick. I liked their energy. I liked there wasn't anything more that I felt like we needed to accomplish today, and I thought they were really good.
You mentioned some offensive stagnation at Colorado. Does not having Lee on the floor as like an inside-out kind of presence, does that affect your ball movement?
Well, we use the word gravity a lot, and where is the defense worried about? Certainly any kind of post presence. If you're worried about that, you probably put extra half body on, or at least another set of eyes in there. But we have other gravity besides Lee, and we've had that all year, whether it be Taryn Sides from three, whether it be Poindexter from three, whether it be Serena. So our players know this. So I'll get back to, this isn't anything new. It's just that the gravity is different. And I keep talking about we've been through it, but these aren't things we're making up. I mean, everybody knows it, right? We've had games this year where she hasn't played. There are games where we've rested her. There are games where she played limited minutes. And so this is anything new. We just need to play better.
And then having had the chance now to look at the Colorado tape, what were some other things that you noticed there that you needed to emphasize and work on in practice this week?
Well, defensive rotations were slow. We thought coming into the game, Colorado offensively was a really sound team. They really spread their offense out. A lot of players could score. They didn't really have a dominating score, so they had a lot of people that could score. It did not feel like that. I thought we lost some discipline in the scout. And probably players trying to do too much and trying to make a play as opposed to be disciplined, stay in the play, trust. We've got to do those things better. I did not like how many drives we gave up. I thought we were too aggressive on the perimeter and weren't quick enough to rotations when we needed to be. So there was a lot at that end of the floor that I think can be better. And then I think we've got to respond better when teams punch us in the mouth on the road. We have done that very well this year, and we didn't do it very well in Boulder.
Coach, against Iowa State, you guys had some battles last year. Would you say the girls are hungry to kind of avenge that on Thursday?
Well, we haven't talked a lot about Iowa State right now. We will tomorrow. We really haven't talked a lot about them. We've had enough to get solved, I think, in our area that this is more about us. But certainly our battles last year against Iowa State were really tough games. They got us both times, and overtime in Ames, and a great one here. So we'll be motivated, and I'm sure they will be too. But our team knows that.
One of the premier players in college basketball, really. Does it help having the girls having gone against Aoka Lee in practice a lot, or is this a completely different player that you're going up against in Audie Crooks?
Well, they're both elite post players. They both have great hands. They both have great footwork. They both are incredibly strong down low. So there's the similarities. I think our team knows the challenge. Audie's hard to guard one-on-one, right? So they know the challenge there, and we have discussed that part of it, is that positioning's critical. You can't let her bury you. You can't let – but those are the similarities with her and Lee. So we know that Audie's a great player and having a great year, so we'll have to certainly be aware of her.
And then my last question, you said that it was a quiet plane ride, quiet bus ride. It kind of feels like these last couple of weeks, like the hits keep coming for this team. Aoka Lee goes down, drop your first conference game. How do you kind of pick the locker room back up, re-inject some energy back in there with a huge game coming up on Thursday?
I think just have good practices. Look, it's not, the season's not this straight line up. I mean, even when we were winning, it wasn't just this unicorn practice where, we tend to see all the good stuff, but you go back, we've had kind of dips in area. Now, the difference is you won a game, so you feel good leaving out of there, right? So I'm not naive to the fact that it was a quiet plane ride. It was quiet, but good practices back, getting back together, seeing the success, those kind of things are where your foundation of your program's got to be, and trust each other and do those things. And there's not a magic potion that you get that from, It comes over time. This is our group is a group that's won a lot of games. Get back to that foundation, and I think our group has.
Anything else clearly, for this team to be successful without Lee, you need players to step up. For those that you want and need to step up, how is that message spoken to the team? Like, are you just going to them and say, hey, straight up that, look, Lee's out, this is your time to shine? Or are you expressing that in practice a little bit harder on them? How does that happen?
One of the things I feel for each player is just do what you can do. How can you help the team? And I know that sounds simplistic, but if Eliza Maupin can be a rim runner and can be athletic and screen hard, cut hard, those are things that she can do. Amani Lester contributing to offense she's got a great brain to her. We can run stuff through Amani. Those are things we've done all year. Keep doing those things. Kennedy had a good game at Colorado. Build off of that game. Go offensive rebound. Go rim run and get layups that way. So it's not really anything. It's reminding them of where they can help the basketball team. They're going to get more opportunities, but don't get outside yourself. Don't try to do more than, if you were getting 10 minutes before, turn those 10 minutes into a good 15 minutes, and so my philosophy with any injury or any foul trouble or any of those situations has been that it's not one player that has that responsibility. Players have to step up. Our post rotation has got to give us everything they can when they're out there, but do what they can. And from a scoring standpoint, spread the scoring out. We did not score well at Colorado. I did not think that we played very well together, and that was going on early in the game when we did score well. We had 11 turnovers in the first half. I mean, there were miscommunications out on the floor that were abnormal for us. So let's correct those things.
One more about Iowa State. Everybody else but Audie Crooks. I think they're having a season that it's not as successful as they were planning on. One of the favorites in the Big 12, but they're still 6-3 in the conference. So, how is Iowa State this year outside of Audie?
Oh, I mean, Emily Ryan, we know, a heck of a player. Brown's a heck of a player. Addie's always, plays way above her years, maturity-wise. They're shooting the ball well right now. I think they've got a good team. They scheduled incredibly hard early. UConn, South Carolina. I mean, these are games that are real challenges. So they found their footing. They had some bumps early, but those were bumps that 99% of the country would have had. So this is a really good team. Got all the pieces. You talk about gravity. They've got gravity where you've got to give some extra bodies to, and so this will be a heck of a game on Thursday.
Anything else?
All right, guys. Thanks.